Every age, every gender, every member and every number, living with love, peace and joy for the unity of the earth, for the beauty of learning, coming together for a positive work. Good morning, learned dignitaries on the dais and off the stage. We have gathered here to experience a dimension of learning to revitalize our stand as academicians and promoters of academic excellences in different parts of the globe. Invocation is a miraculous happening between God and men. To invoke the blessings of God and the benevolence of Tamil Thai, let us all raise for Tamil Thai Valthu. I now invite Aishwarya for Tamil Thai Valthu.
நீராறும் கடலுடுத்த நிலமடந்த கெழிலொழுகும் சீராறும் வதனம் என திகழ் பரத கண்டமிதில் தெக்கணமும் அதிசிறந்த திராவிடனல் திருநாடும் தக்க சிறு பிறை நுதலும் தரித்தனரும் திலகமுமே அத்திலக வாசனை போலனை துலகும் இன்பமுற எத்திசையும் புகழ் மணக்க இருந்த பெரும் தமிழனங்கே தமிழனங்கே உன் சீரிழமை திறம் வியந்து செயல் மறந்து வாழ்த்துதுமே வாழ்த்துதுமே வாழ்த்துதுமே.
Light eliminates the darkness. Light brings in enlightenment. Light leads and glows the unglowed, and the light leads us to the right path. I now invite our dignitaries on the dais to light the Kuthuvilakku, a symbol of igniting minds. Please, sir and madam. To know more of us, here are some of the glimpses of our personified personality.
SRM Institute of Science and Technology, Ramapuram campus is a magnificent epitome of learning situated at the western suburbs of Chennai. Excellent academic standards, strong motivation, and service to humanity are the hallmarks of this world-class university. Educating more than 20,000 students through 1,500 dedicated faculty members. College of Science and Humanities was established in the year 2014 with the goal of providing students with a high-quality education, flourished into 5 major schools: School of Languages, School of Commerce, School of Computer Science and Applications, School of Basic Sciences, and School of Media Sciences.
There are 16 undergraduate programs and 2 postgraduate programs. With regard to the infrastructure facilities, I would say that the SRM Ramapuram campus has got the state-of-art infrastructure in all spheres. Whether it is biotech or whether it is computer science or computer application, we have the highly sophisticated equipments and labs situated for the benefit of the students. We go to the students and understand the learning pattern from the students and deliver the instructions. Our curriculums are designed in such a way that it gives the knowledge during the first year of their study, and by which they will develop the skill in the second year, and third year, they get inside the professionalism. So the knowledge, skill, professionalism is what we teach in the first year, second year, and third year respectively. Our faculty members are well equipped and
they are using various pedagogies in delivering the instructions. And we have adopted Industry 4.0 standards in our curriculum, and we are ready to adopt Industry 5.0 standards in the near future.
List of programs offered in College of Science and Humanities under various schools are BA English, BCom, BCom Corporate Secretaryship, BCom Information System and Management, BCom Accounting and Finance, BCom Honors Professional Accounting, MCom, BSc Computer Science, BCA, BCA Data Science, BSc Cyber Security, MCA, BSc Biotechnology, BSc Visual Communication, BSc Film Technology, BSc Fashion Designing, BA Journalism and Mass Communication. Further, all the departments support PhD programs. Placement par excellence is a key tenet of this prestigious institution with glamorous offers.
We are providing placement opportunities to all the eligible students with Dream and Super Dream offers. Another milestone of our institution is to produce university ranks every year in all the courses. By collaborating with top industries, we are offering intensive placements and consultancy work for our students. We have strong alumni network in our institution, and our alumni are working in top industries around the globe.
I completed my bachelor degree in English literature from the batch of 2019-2022. So English literature is something that I am very fond of, and SRM has created lots and lots of good opportunities for me. And talking of the faculties, they have helped us and guided us throughout the academic year from 2019-2022, and has helped us to gain lots and lots of good knowledge about it.
All the whatever concepts that they taught me here was very useful for me in my higher studies as well.
ஸோ நாங்கள் எஸ்ஆரில் படித்த என்ன பெனிஃபிட் அப்படின்னா நாங்கள் வந்து எங்களோட ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸ் சர்க்கிளும் எங்கள் நிறைய கிடச்சாங்க இந்த இடத்துல எனக்கு. ஸோ இதை வச்சு நாங்கள் மீடியாக்குள்ளே போனோம், சன் டிவியில் வந்து நாங்கள் ஒர்க் பண்ணியிருந்தோம். ஸோ இப்போ எங்கள் டீம்லேருந்து ஒரு பையன் படம் பண்ணிகிட்டு இருக்கான்.
ஐம் கரண்ட்லி now working as a game designer. நானே கம்பெனி வச்சுருக்கேன்.
பாஸ்ட் 5 இயர்ஸாக சென்னையில் வந்து லீடிங் ஈவெண்ட் மேனேஜ்மெண்ட் கம்பெனி ரன் பண்ணிகிட்டு இருக்கேன்.
I'm seeing the quality of people coming from the SRM. So they're standing out of the rest of the crowd.
SRM has given me a lot of opportunities in terms of education, career growth and all. So I would like to thank SRM University.
Just I'm working as a lead operation in Ayahuasca Technology Bangalore.
I got placed through campus in LTI, and I'm currently working with Configate.
Currently I'm working consulting as a lead data engineer. I feel very good when they are talking about all the industrial aspects. Now I can able to see the significant impact in the studies as well as my personal career growth.
Internship based hiring many companies have.
I'm currently working in DICES for the past 1 year, and here in SRM we have great faculty and great placements. I'm here because of SRM.
And I started a company name PK Innovatives, and I signed MOU with SRM University, and I launched the SRM app.
So I'm get placed as a Bandhan Bank in assistant management role.
So now I'm currently working in a digital marketing company called Leonate. So this was really a great experience studying in SRM.
I'm working with Infosys for past 2 years. I was placed in SRM IST's campus interview. To tell about SRM University and its placement team do a great job.
Alumni, the backbone of an institution, is proved to be very live and momentous here.
availability of infrastructure, buildings, and the faculty play a vital role for any institution. We have the state-of-art infrastructure facilities, libraries, labs, and other facilities which will be beneficial to the students.
Decide your career by choice, not by chance. Why study in SRM Ramapuram? Because the globe needs you.
Heard melodies are sweet, those unheard are sweeter. Sung melodies are sweet, and those unsung are sweeter. What is visualized is a drop of a mighty ocean. Those unvisualized are counting on.
I now welcome our dignitaries to take the dais, please. Our guest, Dr. Lata Pillai, Dr. T. Devi, Dr. K. R. Maladi, Dr. R. Ardhanari sir, our Dean, Major Dr. M. Venkatramanan, Dean IQAC sir, Dr. Narayanan sir, Dr. Deepen, Vice Principal Admin, and Dr. E. S. Saravanan, Vice Principal Academics. Always welcome your existence, which has been devoted to clear ideals of goodness and happiness. I now invite our most dynamic, most energetic, most beautiful, most enlightening personality, Major Dr. M. Venkatramanan, Dean, College of Science and Humanities, to deliver the welcome address. Please, sir.
Vanakkam, Vandanam, Namaste, Namaskar. Happy morning to all. At the outset, I would like to thank our Honorable Chairman and Co-Chairman for having permitted us and giving us the financial support to conduct this Principals Convention, Secpricon 2020-23. I also thank our Chief Director and the directors and other administrators for giving us the full support and motivating us in almost all the steps that we have taken up in organizing this mega event. Now I would like to go for the formal welcome address, and at the outset I would like to welcome our chief guest for the today's convention, Dr. Lata Pillai, who is going to inaugurate the convention. She has been the former Vice Chancellor of Indira Gandhi Open University and also Director of Rajiv Gandhi Sports and Development University at Sriperumbudur. Really, we are happy and proud, Madam, for having accepted our invitation in a very short notice. In fact, I would say that all the three speakers who are here have accepted our invitation in a very short notice and having graced us here to give the welcome address, the keynote address, and the special address. Madam, on behalf of the College of Science and Humanities, I welcome you to this session. I also welcome Dr. Devi for having accepted our invitation, who is the Professor and Head of Computer Science and Application at Bharatiyar University, Coimbatore. And today she is here to deliver us the keynote address. And we have Dr. K. R. Malati, Founder and CEO, Oro Educational Services, Chennai, and Early Education Expert, Harvard University, for having accepted our invitation, being with us here today to deliver the special address. I, as Dean of the College of Science and Humanities, wholeheartedly welcome you all for this session, Madam. I also welcome Dr. Ardhanari, the Founder President of the Headmasters and Principals, Retired Headmasters and Principals Association, who has associated with us for many years. In fact, when I was in DGB, from there I am associated with them, and he has been
a support to us in all the activities as far as the schools and institutions are concerned. Sir, I welcome you on behalf of the College of Science and Humanities for this convention. I also welcome our vice principals. I would say the two lieutenants of me, without whom any program in the institution cannot be done. I have Dr. Deepen, Vice Principal Admin, and Dr. Saravanan, Vice Principal Academic, who have always, I would say, they are the pillar of support for me, along with the faculty members, the heads of the department who are here. It's my duty to welcome all the heads of the department and faculty members. And more importantly, we have the Dean, IQAC, with whom I have been associated, sir, please, whom I have been associated not at SRM, in the earlier institutions also. And we have with us Ms. Bindu here, the Secretary of our Chairman, and I also welcome her on behalf of the College of Science and Humanities. And we have Deja Logics MD here with us. I also, on behalf of the College of Science and Humanities, welcome you, sir, and his team. The most important persons whom I have to welcome is the principals, the correspondents, and the secretaries, and also the representatives from various schools who have accepted our invitation and are with us today to make this function a grand success. I wholeheartedly, sincerely welcome you all for this convention, and I am sure that all the three speakers will deliberate, will give the best of their ability, and I am sure it will be a good deliberation and understanding, and we will come to know of various aspects of higher education. With these words, I once again welcome you all for this Principals Convention 2023. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you so much, sir. No person was ever honored for what he received. Honor has been a reward for what he is and what he gave. This is time to honor our guest. I now invite our Dean, Major Dr. M. Venkatramanan sir, to honor our chief guest, Dr. Lata Pillai, with a memento and a fruit bouquet. Please, sir. I invite our Vice Principal Admin, Dr. J. Deepen, to honor our guest, Dr. T. Devi, with a memento and a fruit bouquet. Please, sir. I request our Vice Principal Academic, Dr. V. Saravanan sir, to honor our guest, Dr. K. Malati, with a memento and a fruit bouquet. Please, sir. I request our Dean sir to honor Dr. R. Ardhanari, Founder President of Retired HM and Principals Association. Please, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Mind is a delicate part of human existence. Mind behind the matter is a divine part of any deliberation. Here is a brief note on Secpricon 2023, Secretary, Principal and Correspondent Convention by our ever-conscious, ever-sincere, ever-foresighted and ever-agile academician, Dr. J. Deepen, Vice Principal Admin. Sir, I request your good self to unwrap the objectives of the conclave. Please, sir.
A very warm good morning to 100% here. It gives me immense pleasure to give the brief note on Secpricon 2023. Secpricon focuses on the life factor in every individual that centers upon enhancing the wholesome personality of every humble learner in the field of education. The objective of the Secpricon is to help the academician and educationalist to become aware of the reformation and transformation that is getting effected in the field of education. To enable them get a clear picture about the changes in the academic pursuits of the young learners, to help learners, teachers, and general public to educate themselves on the shift from traditional learning system to liberal learning. To enable academic experts, policy makers, and curriculum designers analyze the impact of transformative learning system that can become a turning point in the lives of learners. NEP, National Education Policy, promotes critical thinking and provides a comprehensive intellectual foundation for the students to excel and get empowered. There will be a 5+3+3+4 structure which comprises 12 years of school and 3 years of preschool, replacing old 10+2 structures. NEP permits multiple entry and exit for learners to pursue their studies as per their convenience. It emphasizes on job creators rather than the job seekers. SRM Institute of Science and Technology keeps pace with the changes in the field of education and promotes progressive education. Team teaching with case studies and interactive classroom sessions are already an integral part of education at SRM. E-lab facilities the students to explore and experiment online in the comfort of their personal space. SRM has implemented LMS, Learning Management System, to manage, host, and track learning programs. Several instructional strategies, that is the teaching pedagogies, are implemented for the benefit of the student community by SRM faculty members. Learning outcome-based followed at SRM works towards a more holistic experience for the students. Today, we are in a situation to build in the capacity to adapt to a changing world. Secpricon invites to join hands to be the part of the positive world of change and contribute to the enhancement of the young minds and to the service of the humanity at large. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Dynamism enriched, height surmounted, elevation upheld, so calm and composed, agile and amicable. She is none other than our chief guest for the day, Dr. Latha Pillai. Dr. Latha Pillai, the former advisor of National Assessment and Accreditation Council, former Pro-Vice Chancellor of IGNOU, is a renowned educationist, advocator of quality education to maintain highest standards in quality education. She has been nominated to various committees of UGC, MHRD, FICCI, and CII. Ma'am, having you amidst us this morning is a great pleasure indeed. It is my heartfelt pleasure to invite your good self to deliver the inaugural address. Please, ma'am.
Respected Major Venkatraman, Vice Principals of of the SRM Science and Humanities College, my co-panelists, or shall I say co-speakers over here, Professor Devi and Professor Malati, the Director IQAC, Ms. Bindu from the Chairman's Office, principals for whom this convention is being organized. I'm extremely happy to be here in your midst this, I can't say morning, I say this afternoon, because, you know, it's nice to see heads of institutions, people responsible for molding generations of young students in this campus. I've been briefly associated with SRM and am aware of the various activities that they do. It's also interesting to see their tagline, the place for transformation. You are here today to listen to speakers on how you can transform education, particularly when it comes to liberal education. I must admit that I'm not an expert in school education. I have spent the past 3.5 or 4 decades in higher education. Nevertheless, I have the freedom to speak since Major Venkatraman told me I can speak what I think is right for the audience. So I've just put my thoughts together, and you'll are free to agree or disagree with what I say. You will have more expert sessions from the other 2 people. When it comes to school education, the world over, there are diametrically opposite views as to what purpose school education serves. Many people believe that the curriculum and pedagogy in school education should relate to the world of work, whereas the opposing group feels that school education should serve a purpose in life, should make a life, should have a larger vision and provide qualities which bring out students, bring the best out of students. How school education systems respond to these challenges depends on which country you belong to, depends on the continuum, depends on which is the maturity level of the country, the economy of the country. So the more developed worlds may speak about looking at life and looking at major goals as per the purpose of school education, whereas developing countries with all the constraints they have look at education or school education as a means to getting a job, a means to getting a livelihood, and these are the purpose, and these may be the purposes. Now, whatever be the purposes, y'all head schools or y'all are seniors in schools, senior teachers in schools which serve a particular purpose. And to me, this represents a very important crowd. How does transformation happen? Who brings in transformation? And who is responsible? As heads of institutions, as teachers, are we responsible for bringing about transformation? Is a question that we must ask ourselves. There are 2 important factors in the recent past which have impacted our lives very much. I'll briefly touch upon them and then go into the transformation aspect. It is still vivid in our memories as to what happened during the pandemic. The pandemic proved to us all how fragile human nature is, how interconnected we all are. The pandemic also proved to us how vulnerable we are as individuals, irrespective of social class, education, caste. It did not leave anybody unaffected. Then we came to know the importance of what it means to be human, what it means to come together, and how, it was simply at a loss as to how we would handle ourselves. While this was a social scenario and the emotional scenario across the world, what happened in the field of education? As teachers, you all responded to what could be the best that you could do. Initially, when the pandemic broke out, none of us knew how to respond. Schools, students, parents, everyone were at a loss. They did not know how to cope with the situation. As the lockdown progressed, we resorted to different means. We tried to use the mobile in the classrooms. We tried to provide devices to our students. A gadget which was banned in classrooms, became a kind of lifeline for the entire sector. And education in whatever form moved along that way for quite some time. While education was moving, we also realized that there were many gaps, and we would fill these gaps once the so-called pandemic is over. Now, luckily, I think with comfort, we can say that we've put the pandemic behind us, and maybe we have all gone back to our pre-COVID ways of handling classrooms. Am I right? We've all gone back to our pre-COVID. So did COVID teach us anything? I'm not sure. Even as an individual, I'm not sure what it taught us when we are in the education space. We began learning WhatsApp. We used WhatsApp, Google Classrooms, depending on which school you come from and the level of technology that you had. You began using these various methods to teach your students. But now we know that our students have large learning deficits. We know that many students lack devices. We know that students require social support. They require engagement in classrooms. We are also aware that as teachers, we need to be empowered. We need to be trained in the skill sets required to handle technology. What we did with the mobiles or with the laptops is simply not good enough. We must improve ourselves. We must update ourselves. That was the message. We also learned that maybe in future, hybrid classrooms, blended classrooms, flipped classrooms, these are words that you hear all around us. Maybe that would become the norm. But suddenly it seems to have all disappeared. We are back to our old method of teaching, chalk and board, following the same class system, following the same examination system. And hence, I say that are we ready for transformation? Are we ready to make the change that we want? And are students willing to listen to the old styles that we have been talking about all along? So this was one major thing which affected us, the pandemic. The second major event which happened was the launch of the National Education Policy. After almost 4 decades, we have a new National Education Policy in place. Many of you at seminars and conferences may have heard of what the NEP talks. I will restrict to, in a nutshell, what the NEP says for school education. The NEP says that in curriculum and pedagogical structure, you must have the 5+3+3+4, which you all are familiar with. It says that you should break down the silos between arts and sciences, break down the barriers between curricular and extracurricular activities, no more differentiation between vocational and academic. The NEP for schools also talks about multilingualism. It talks about a National Assessment Council, various ways in which education can be more holistic, examinations can be more formative. These are some of the principles which the school education aspect talks about. Professor Kasturi Rangan, who wrote the NEP, also mentions that it should provide choice and flexibility to students. Now, this is the immediate context in which we are looking at what transformation can happen. Institution building is a great exercise, and very often I say building an institution can be compared to the construction of a building. You all represent different institutions. The age of institutions may vary from 3 years to 30 years to 50 years, different institutions on the continuum at different stages. How can it be compared to the construction of a building? Because institution building requires the same amount. It requires a good foundation. It requires good bricks and mortar material to build it. It requires good support structures in the form of teachers. It requires students to come into the institution and society to support what is happening. Now, all these put together, when an institution stands the test of time, we say that these are good institutions, these are resilient institutions, and hence the challenge is, how do we as schools respond to the changes that are taking place around us? We are talking of transformation, not because time has passed, because since we were appointed as principals or teachers, maybe we've served for 10 years, 20 years. We are talking of transformation because the world is moving out at such a fast pace, a pace that we cannot comprehend where we will be. So I will touch on just 2-3 aspects. Maybe I'll touch on technology. Professor Devi is an expert, so I'll just give a few points on technology. Look at something on life skills, and look at what we mean by examinations and bridging the gap, which Professor Malti will talk about. technology has kind of pervaded our lives in unbelievable ways. We have forgotten when we've gone to a bank, maybe forgotten when we went to a railway station to book our tickets. All our shopping, most of our shopping is done online. But when it comes to the school situation, somehow we feel that only the physical presence of a teacher is the way to teach our students. Technology in its various forms has helped our students, and we are relating to students who are in a generation very, very compatible or very, very friendly with the various tools that are available. We hear of simulated classrooms, we hear of simulated labs. These are some of the minimum infrastructure which schools are having when they don't have the more advanced kinds. Technology has responded to various challenges, be it in the healthcare sector, be it in the banking, or any other area that we are aware of. We are talking of virtual reality, we are talking of augmented reality. Why are we talking of these realities? Because we want students to have an immersive experience. We want students to have an experiential learning. And the whole idea is that technology-based learning is to make the entire education process more and more student-centric. So it is in this context that technology becomes very important. And however much we may shy ourselves away from it, we have to remember that to be relevant, we have to adapt to these various technologies. Just as I mentioned about AI and VR, you have a lot, even in special schools, there are robotics which are being used. Madam Devi will speak to you about more in detail. So even to identify the needs of learners and to give them personalized learning, these are the new tools which are being used. As school principals, you know that you have various software, even for your basic administrative processes, and we don't have to continue the old ways in which we have been doing things. Today, in fact, when I was coming into the college here, I saw somebody carrying a bundle of attendance registers. And I was told that teachers do their biometric, teachers sign in the registers. Now, this is because I think we basically distrust human beings. That is characteristics of Indians, not of this particular institution. We distrust biometric, we distrust signing, and then somebody has to countersign. Now all this has become automated. You have your ERP, you have SAP, you call it whatever. I'm not an expert, but I know that there are n number of apps, portals, anything which is available for us to use to use in a positive way. So much for technology that we all need to gear up to and move beyond just the PowerPoint presentations, even if we have been just using them. The importance is that we can no longer say that a student living far away or a student who does not have a device cannot do a particular experiment. Schools have the capability, they should have the wherewithal to provide these things to students because the infrastructure requirements of schools and colleges are changing. After technology, while as principals you have to place emphasis on technology, I think an important aspect is examinations. Examinations have always been considered as the bane of the higher education system. Irrespective of whatever changes are being made, we have this tension before the board examinations. I am told that teachers could not respond or come to this seminar because the board examinations are going on. You have invigilation duty. So if it creates that much stress for teachers, I can imagine the stress it creates for students. We are talking of examinations where there will be continuous formative assessment, summative assessment. Now, formative assessments have been spoken about for a long period of time. I know many commissions, and in my long career, right from the Kothari Commission, we have been talking of formative assessments. But what are we doing? Are we doing just lip service, Okay, we give 2 surprise tests, we give 2 quizzes, something like that. If so, it is time for transformation. Why is there a need for transformation? Because we have to address examinations from the point of view of learning outcomes. As teachers who have done B.Ed, you may have had pre-service or in-service teaching. You all are familiar with learning objectives, Bloom's taxonomy. All this is good that you've learned in theory. But I think the focus is now on learning outcomes. Are our students able to learn what is expected of them at the end of a particular unit? Am I able to define that X, Y, and Z capabilities will be there for students after they finish a particular unit of study? And this is what is called outcome-based learning when we come to evaluation. So examinations, yes, in examinations you can use technology. It helps because students remain engaged. There is gamification of quizzes. There are various things, project works. There are assignments. There are proctored examinations. All these are developments which are taking place in the examination space. So to remain competitive, if you are competing with other schools, if you're looking at your students moving into colleges and universities, which are good places for them, I think we have to relook at our examination system and begin doing this within our schools. While technology helps us in examinations, we don't have to use always the computers. I would say in a literature class, you can have role play. In some other class, you can have poetry. In third class, maybe you can have a quiz. And in fourth class, it could be simulated learning. Whatever you do, there are different mediums. And those who believe in technology now tell students to bring out small videos, put it on YouTube, put on group podcasts, different ways in which students can engage themselves. We have students who are active visually and auditorily, and therefore there is a need to bring them all together and bring examinations and tests of the kind that students will be interested. There's no point in saying this is what we learned, this is how we did it, and this is how it should be done. We have to accept that we live in different times. The expectations of our students are different, and if we have to align ourselves to those expectations, we just have to change. And this change can happen only within the classroom. A teacher is the most autonomous person in a classroom. That 55 minutes or 1 hour that I have as a class teacher, the syllabus is given to us by the CBSE. I fully agree. I know there is pressure that you have to perform, that pass percentages are important. All these are important criteria, but what I teach and impart within the 55 minutes in a classroom is what impacts the childhood or what impacts a youth in your classrooms. So I think that's a tremendous capacity which teachers have. How will we make our examinations more meaningful to students? Having spoken of technology, examinations, I am inclined to also bring about the importance of life skills. The NEP, of course, has mentioned the various life skills that our students need, that the youth, particularly in a secondary school level, need. But to me, it is not something new. Long back as students, we all learned how to live together in a classroom, how to be in a school, and what do we do to collaborate, and what do we do to relate to others. Slowly, as families became nuclear, we have one child, two children at home. We don't have grandparents who take care of children. We have a different social structure, and hence children, the very nature of what is childhood has changed. It is in this context that life skills become important, imparting life skills to students to know who they are, to give them the communication skills, give them leadership skills, how to work in a team, how to interact with others, how do we accept dissent from others, how do we provide tolerance. We see so much of intolerance around us. But how do we make all this relevant is what a typical life skills curriculum would comprise of. I know for the universities, the UGC has brought out something called Jeevan Kaushal, which has a whole set of modules on life skills. I'm sure for the school sector, there must be something which talks about the life skills that your students need. Now, why are these life skills important? Do you think it's only the teachers who mold, or would you say that it's also the parents? The students spend a large part of their time in the schools with us, and life skills becomes important because, especially from the 10th to 12th, because tomorrow they are going to the universities, colleges, and they will move out into the world of work. The earlier we begin providing the exposure, the better it is. The world of work that our students will go to is very dynamic. We are preparing students for jobs that we really do not know which will exist. Your students will go out into the world of work maybe 10 years from now. They will have a period, if they are 12 standard students, another 5 years of undergraduation, post-graduation. So 7 to 10 years from now, you don't know what jobs exist, what skills are required, and where will they move. In the world of work, further changes are taking place. Nobody is happy in remaining in one job for the entire career. We all were happy being in administration or being a teacher for 20, 30 years. Today, children like to move. How many jobs you move in your career, how many jobs you move along your work life is become a criteria for success. So mobility across careers. People are not happy in the domain that we be. Maybe I am a psychology student, but tomorrow I want to do visual art. I go into visual art. You hear new kinds of jobs which have come in. You hear YouTube specialists, influencers, bloggers, artists, musicians, a whole lot of a variety of jobs that are available, besides, of course, entrepreneurs. And this brings us to the point, what is the kind of career counseling that we provide as a part of life skill education for our students? If schools are not providing it or not providing it in a comprehensive way, I think we should look at it seriously, because without life skills, any amount of domain knowledge will not help us. You hear of the biggest industries. I could just relate to India. It could be Infosys, Wipro, it could be the Zoho here in Tamil Nadu. All of them say that our graduates who come out are not fit, are not ready for the world of work. Now, is it the responsibility of only the university, or is it the responsibility of schools? If you ask universities or colleges, they immediately shift the blame to the feeder schools, saying that the candidates that we get from there do not have an understanding of concepts. The material that we get and the words they use, the stuff that we get from the schools is really not up to the mark. Of course, my question would be, if you want only 90% in terms of academics, if you want only 90% students, then what is the role of a college or what is the role of a school? We are here to provide the education possible, a holistic education to everybody, irrespective of what percentage you have. So that's why I think life skills becomes extremely critical, and whether you have specified periods in your timetable or otherwise, we have to make this requirement for life skills. The last part of what I would like to say is the importance of liberal education. The NEP said that you have to break down the silos between arts and sciences. Long back, we used to talk about the importance of STEM, science, technology, engineering, mathematics. Now we have moved to STEAM, science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics, meaning that liberal arts have a very important role in developing students, in developing youth. From ages ago, you go back even to Aristotle, Plato, Benjamin Franklin, or even Swami Vivekananda, all of them spoke about building the character, building a holistic individual, a man-making education, as Swami Vivekananda said. Now, what is this man-making education? From where does it come from? if you see the recruitment trends recently and student preferences, you will see that many of them want to go into so-called liberal arts subjects. You have universities which are promoting themselves as liberal arts. If you've heard of the Ashoka University in Delhi, it calls itself a liberal arts university. You have the Kriya University here, you have the Sai University, to name a few. These are universities and institutions which are focusing on liberal arts. Liberal arts provides one with the dimension of looking at aspects of life in a more, shall I say, in a more disciplined manner than just a numerical or a mathematical function. Liberal education could be in history, it could be in architecture, it could be in sociology, any of these subjects. And all these subjects now are incorporating technology in them. How do I learn history, or how do I use technology for better teaching of history, for better understanding of history? There are various universities which are conducting studies on how we should use anthropology and technology together. How can we use music with computer science or with AI? So the common jargon in higher education is computer science plus X. And recently there was a professor who said it is not computer science plus X. Plus X means a major liberal arts stream. What we are talking about is AI plus X. So AI plus music, AI plus psychology, AI plus history, whatever be the subject, because in every subject technology can be applied. You may be teaching your students that the NEP says about data mining, it talks about programming, coding, all this digital computing to all be a part of the school education. And hence, I think these all should be woven together when it comes into a full-fledged liberal education that we are talking about. These are some of the important dimensions that we need to look at when it comes into transformation of education. I think if we attend to some of these, I always say, as teachers, we begin believing that there are many things which are beyond our control, okay? You might say the principal says this, the government says this, the ministry says this, they give us the syllabus, etc., etc. Those are all the external boundaries that we have. But there are many things which are within our control, or what I call, as a student of psychology, I say it is within my sphere of influence. And if we widen the sphere of influence, we can definitely make a change, because change begins with individuals. Then when it moves collectively, it becomes transformation. Otherwise, there is no rule, there is no law which can bring about transformation in any sector. I'd like to just end wishing you all the best in the endeavor that you have taken up today, and only say, I'm reminded of an old saying that we have, not a saying really, but you all as teachers may have heard of Rip Van Winkle, who went to sleep for 30 long years. So it is said that Rip Van Winkle woke up after 30 years. He got up and he went out into the society. He went to the hospitals, he saw the world had changed. He went to the markets, the world had changed. There were malls all over. He went to look for banks. He couldn't find banks because there were only ATMs around. But he went into a school and he found that hardly anything had changed. So I'm sure as teachers, we don't want to be in that kind of a situation where only schools are left behind. This is not to put down the teaching community, because I know even during the COVID, there were many teachers who went that extra mile to motivate students. You are teachers and heads of schools in an urban setting. There are many examples of teachers in rural settings, what they did to help their children. In Jharkhand, there was a teacher who went with a loudspeaker mic and with 5 teachers to conduct classes. There are many examples the world over. In Gujarat, there is some other examples. So if you look at the work that NGOs did, there are many things that have happened. So teacher empowerment through pre-service and in-service teaching to keep up with the technologies that are required, that can help or can definitely be an assistive model for transformation that has to take place. I hope you all resonate with some of my thoughts. You all are free to disagree, but I think that's the way forward for teachers and principals of schools over here. Wishing you all the best in this conference. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Your spontaneous flow of enriched knowledge and expertise are the hallmarks of your inaugural address. A teacher teaches, a preacher preaches, a leader leads, a role model sets a model. Enriched knowledge, innovative mind, invaluable soul are the attributes that are relevant to define our guest, Dr. T. Devi. She is an inspiring leader who still keeps impressing as a professor and head in the Department of Computer Applications, Bardiyar University, Coimbatore. She is a great researcher who involved herself in publishing many research papers and projects. She is a great orator and a sought-after plenary talk. We are so happy to listen to your oration, ma'am. May I now invite your good self to deliver the keynote address. Please, ma'am.
Honorable Dean, Major Dr. M. Venkatramanan sir, Dr. Adhanari, Founder President of Retired Principals, Dr. Lata Pillai Madam, Former Advisor NAC India, Dr. K.R. Malati, Founder and CEO, Oro Educational Services, Dr. Dileepan, Vice Principal Admin, Dr. Saravanan, Vice Principal Academic, Secretaries, Principals, faculty members from SRM, a very warm good afternoon to all of you. It is a great opportunity to meet the leaders of the schools. Madam Lata Pillai has covered all the aspects of school education, teaching, learning, examination, liberal arts, everything. I am from computer applications background, computer science and computer applications background. In the last 3.5 years, we worked a lot on Industry 4.0. The entire world is moving towards digital transformation technology, and the use of it became very clear during COVID time. Digital transformation technologies are the only tools which helped us during that time for communication to get handy medicines over WhatsApp. You know, when somebody is suffering in fever or flu. So Industry 4.0 is nothing but artificial intelligence, big data, cloud computing, mobile computing, Internet of Things, virtual reality and augmented reality. I'll repeat: AI, big data, IoT, AR and VR, cloud, mobile. So everywhere people are trying for smart cities, smart traffic, smart car, electronic car, autonomous cars, driverless cars. We will be seeing driverless cars soon. So for the smartness, AI has to be given inside. Can we have smart education? Can we have smart teachers? Can we have smart principals and smart secretaries? World is heading towards that. We have worked for the last 3 years. Here, I'm not going to give you a fish, I'm going to teach you fishing. I will just give or open your eyes with some websites and URLs. Go through that, and I'll give you my email address. Get in touch with me. Okay. The first website is search on Google for Bharatiyar University. You will get b-u.ac.in. b-u.ac.in. Put a slash I4E. I for industry, digit 4, representing industry 4 for education, I4E. See, computer science teachers, computer science engineering teachers can write books on artificial intelligence, big data, and AI. Now here, what we have looked at under the leadership of the former Vice Chancellor, Professor Kaliraj, is how AI can be applied in economics, how AI can be applied in environmental management, how big data analytics will be useful in healthcare, cutting across the platforms, multidisciplinary approach. We have invited all the research teachers, the professors who are practicing AI in their department to contribute their knowledge in the form of chapters. Apart from that, the Vice President of IBM, Rahul Karat, and Vice President of Virtusa, Dr. Saravana Kumari, they have written chapters sharing how IoT is useful in analyzing the behavior of the drivers before you give insurance, car insurance. You know, the practical example of the digital transformation technology across all arts, science is given in this website. Okay, there are 8 bullet points. The first 4 are the order forms for the book, and it says what topics are covered. The next 4 bullet points take you to one sample chapter of the book so that you can feel the quality of the book. I invite you to look at the contents page of the book. Say, for example, KMCH in Coimbatore is a very leading hospital. Dr. Davamani, who is the owner of the hospital, has written how social data analytics will be useful in analyzing the diabetes. Okay, so we have done that work and the outcomes are there very beautifully, and the books cost somewhere around 10,000 to 11,000, and there is a link that is given where you will get a 30% discount on whatever subject you are interested, you can buy. The good news is all the books are released by Taylor and Francis USA. They have looked at the contents of the book and we have requested and they have agreed the books will be available in 3 months' time for just 1,000 rupees for India, Bangladesh and Sri Lanka, so that the developing countries, students can make use of it. This is the first news. And the second thing is India 2047. If you look at, India is going to lead the world in technology, and we need more thinkers than doers. We need more thinkers than doers. Madam Lata Pillai Madam correctly said, avoid rote learning. Look at people who come out with creativity and intelligence. I got my PhD from University of Warwick in 2004 to 2008 in UK. When I was there as a PhD scholar, in the city Coventry, there was a competition going on. You know, this is for school students to exhibit their talent and ideas. One student designed, he drew a desk, a writing desk that he can use at his home. You know, this child of say 8th standard or 9th standard felt very uncomfortable with the desk what he used in the school and also at the home. So he wanted to have some convenience. So he has designed a desk, and from University of Warwick Manufacturing Engineering, the dean went as a judge. So there were 3-4 judges, and among the display of the prototypes or the models, this desk was given the first prize. And the beauty of these exhibitions in the Western world is the industry will come there looking for the bright minds also. So there was a furniture industry owner who on that day announced that 8th standard boy will be the manager for the design in his furniture company. Sitting there, I was dreaming when in India we will be doing the same. This is the right time. This is the right time. There are bright young minds. I'll give my own example from my home. Very sorry to say this. My son, who is a born artist, is very good in drawing. Surya's online digital gallery, you can see. He has very beautiful art work. My husband is a biologist. I'm a computer scientist. Son is very good in mathematics. I thought he will come into computer science line. After 10th standard, we all went for the admission. You know, within that 2 seconds, you should become a doctor. Being a biologist, my husband said, let him put him in medicine. Because my daughter wanted to pursue engineering, okay, one wicket out, we will put this boy into medicine. So we forced him to coach for NEET, but he could not score well. Okay, he overworked, and in the hall, before the exam, he slept for half an hour, and he has practiced in physics, chemistry, zoology, and botany. The question paper started with botany first, and that sequence didn't work. He got somewhere around 320, and he could not get into medicine through government seat. You know, this boy locked the room for 2 months. He was shocked by the failure. You know, maths, physics, chemistry, biology, he can go for engineering, but that my son could not take up that failure. We should allow our children to face failure right from the age of 5. Failure is the stepping stone. This should be taught right from the child is in the womb. Okay, that is where, we want everyone to get first rank, everyone to get into medicine or engineering. Why not we allow them to choose whatever they want? Okay, he locked the room for 2 months, and then he came out and joined Sivanjali, took a guitar. He became a very good guitarist. Now we pushed him into mechanical engineering at Kumaraguru College. He was very happy. He learned all mechanical engineering, but now he's saying, I want to get into MA animation. Because he is a born artist, he is good in art, he is very clear, and he's saying, I want to design the characters. We see the cartoon movies where he's very clearly saying, Amma, I want to biomimic the characters, which is the base for augmented reality. Please allow the children to talk to you. And most of the children want to follow whatever the teachers say. Amma, உனக்கு ஒன்றும் தெரியாது. எங்க அகிலா மேடம் சொல்லிட்டாங்க, எங்க ராகவன் சார் சொல்லிட்டாங்க. The teachers play very, very important role in deciding, the children deciding the future. So when you enter the class, spend 10 minutes in what mood they are. அம்மா அப்பா ஃபைட் பண்ணியிருப்பாங்க, எங்கள் பையன் அதை நினச்சிட்டு உட்காந்துருப்பான், சாப்பிடாம வந்திருப்பான். நல்லா இருக்கியாப்பான்னு ஒரு வார்த்தை கேளுங்க, நிறையா பேசுவோம், உங்களை அவ்வளோ பிடிக்கும். தட் டச், லைஃப் ஸ்கில்ஸ் ஆர் மோர் இம்பார்ட்டன்ட் தேன் யுவர் டெக்னாலஜிக்கல் ஸ்கில்ஸ். ஒருத்தர் எதுக்கு பார்த்தாங்கன்னா விஷ் பண்ண சொல்லி கொடுங்க. How is the other person? Okay, are they happy? அப்பார்ட்மெண்ட்ஸில் எவ்வளோ பேர் இறந்துடுறாங்க, 4 நாள் கழிச்சு தான் தெரியுது இல்லைங்களா? We should not end up. India has a very good culture. We should teach that. Okay, so like parents meeting when you conduct, see to that the parents don't impose their dreams onto the children. Okay, and students are very good now. They have lot of awareness because YouTube is there. So now the challenge for the schools is what else we can teach over and above the YouTube and the online media. So if you want to learn computer basics, if the teachers want to learn computer basics, go to Google and give JEGS computer basics, JEGS computer basics. jegsworks.com is the website which will take you whatever is invented. There are beautiful lessons and question and answers with very simple English and easy understandable examples. jegsworks.com. So JEGS Computer Basics will teach all the teachers and the students on computer basics. We did a study on Jobs 2030. Jobs 2030. All the work what I'm explaining are under the leadership of Professor P. Kaliraj, who is here in Adayar. Priya Clinical Center is run by Mrs. Kaliraj. So you have a great person in Chennai, Professor P. Kaliraj. Get his contact details. He is a bundle of ideas to improve the education. So he asked me to search jobs 2030. So when I searched for 6 months, I came across a McKinsey report. The title is Jobs Lost and Jobs Gained. Jobs Lost and Jobs Gained, McKinsey report. Just put it on Google, you will get a wonderful report. You know, AI is going to play a big role. The first and foremost company where it will be useful is drugs and pharmaceuticals. Drugs and pharmaceuticals, lot of AI can be applied. And then engineering design. And then oil and gas energy. See the leakage of oil, you can attach IoT sensors along with the tubes and you can monitor. Teachers can't be replaced by AI, so that we can be strong. We won't be losing our job just because of the technology. So these are the areas where automation will play an important role. Apart from that, if you look at in India, who will be getting more jobs? Doctors, nurses, healthcare workers. So health and pharma are going to be big industry that will be providing the job. And then computer engineers. And then the second level is computer. The third one is cooks, restaurant chef and cooks. There will be plenty of jobs. So we have to align our curriculum so that we will be producing human resources for these industries. So jobs lost, job gained by McKinsey report is a good example. Across globe, for the entire globe, they have analyzed it, taking every country. And you know, recently a company announced, an IT industry announced, give me 10th fail students. Give me 10th fail students. I will give them 3 months training and I'll give them a job. And if he wants to learn also, he can do some part-time education in their own college or their own school. Do you know which company? Joho. Very good. Joho. They are not looking for human resources with college degrees. If we do not adapt to the technology, if we do not move towards skill-based education, all universities will become doomed universities soon. Okay. They call it as ghost universities. Days are not far if we want to open our eye and take action. So, creativity I have touched, and skill development. So, skill development, there is one Professor Vimala of Bharatiyar University who is also looking after non-Mudalvan scheme of Tamil Nadu, where they give enormous skill development to the colleges. Similarly, we can bring it for the school teachers first, the training on skill development, then we can take it to the students. And if you look at robotic process automation is another area which is very good, RPA. As the name is robot, it doesn't mean hardware. It is software process automation. Say if I am doing a small data analysis, I'm going to a website, downloading a tabulation of data, say weather forecast data. I'm downloading it, placing it on Excel, analyzing it for current month. Then I'm going to another table, I'm taking the second month and analyzing it. So I'm doing it for the last 12 months. So I can do it only once, it will be stored as a macro. This can be repeated for all the 12 months by the software itself. Okay, wherever there is mundane jobs, that can be replaced by RPA. The UiPath software does this. Each license costs 3 lakhs. UiPath Romania, they have a branch in Bangalore. They are giving 30 licenses free to schools and colleges. So 90 lakhs worth of software is given free if you sign an MOU with UiPath. Okay, if you are interested, note down my email ID. I'm T Devi. So just write TDEVI number 5 at gmail.com. TDEVI5@gmail.com, all small letters. So shoot me a mail, I'll give you the contact email address so that you can sign an MOU with UiPath. And education, you know, nowadays students don't learn from books. College students don't carry a notebook to take up the notes. I felt very happy when I saw some of the principals taking notes in the morning when Lata Pillai madam was giving, okay? You know, notes taking is very, very important, but children love to learn from the YouTube videos and they love to learn from PPTs. Before exams, they go through the PPT and go for the exam. And they are very happy in playing the games. Even a 1.5-year-old and 3-year-old child, happy in playing a car race on the mobile. So we have to change. Why don't we teach everything through gamification so that they will learn the subject? Toughest job for the teachers, but edutech companies are looking at, and augmented reality plays a very vital role in this, okay? Education through gamification. If you are interested to know the fundamentals on this, the 5th book at I4E, the website that I told, I'll be including it this week. You know, we have developed this I4E details for college. Now I'm interested to give the details for the schools also. Just wait for 7 days to 15 days. I will put more material in b-u.ac.in, Bharatiya University website /I4E for schools separately. So gamification is a key area. So the students who are interested in media, animation, drawing, they will be getting very good jobs. And Madam said, students are not ready and fit to work for the industry. They come out of the engineering college or arts and science college or education college, but the industry has to train them for 6 months or 1 year so that they will fit into the job. Whereas industries do not have that much of time, they want the student to be billable on day 1. You know, TCS approached 2 years ago, Bharatiya University, one Professor Jayakumar, now he is retired, he took up this challenge and he took a team of professors, I was one among them. So there is an industry academia interface in TCS Chennai. Industry academia interface in TCS Chennai. They invited us for 3 days of workshop. You know, the 3 months of training, what they give within TCS, they explained it to us. We teach operating system, but they teach how to install Windows OS and how to set it onto the computer. So we teach only concepts and theory, but they teach the practice of it. So we learnt what they teach and we mapped it onto our syllabus so that we ourselves will give the input whatever the TCS training. You know, TCS was ready to sign an MOU and they were ready to share. How? By training the faculty members. So they conducted a training program on Windows OS installation, cloud computing, you name it, they trained the faculty members. In 5 of the colleges, we introduced BSc Cognitive Systems, and it is very successful with TCS collaboration. So what I think is, rather than sitting within the colleges and schools to frame the syllabus, let us go to the industry, peep into that, what they need, study that, map it onto the syllabus, frame the courses, sequence them, and handhold with the industry to train our teachers or even to train the students and then take it forward. It will be a great success. Companies are not selecting people by interviews. They select students by hackathons. You know, they announce a big competition. A problem is given, a team of students will try to solve it, the entire team will be absorbed. I remember a company in Hyderabad where the HR said there were 14 teams that came, but none of them are up to the mark. You know, there was one organization which was not affected by COVID. You know, that organization was ready with the people who were trained earlier itself to work from remote places. When the COVID affected, they just started networking, sitting in their own villages and towns, and they started continuing. So what I mean to say is, for the disaster, we should make them ready already. And in Bharatiya University, we have done a language consortium, English language consortium. okay, from the English department, Tamil Language Consortium. So there are some 30 teachers networked in South India to teach English. A student of Bharatiya University will learn, and we provide online videos and lectures also. So a student from Periyar University, Salem can also attend the classes. So why don't we set up such consortium among the best school teachers for every subject and lead it. Cyber security is playing a very, very big role. Please get the contact details from Dr. Deepen or Dr. Saravanan yesterday. What is his name? Muthukumaran from HTC. Muthukumaran, HTC addressed the international conference yesterday. I was listening him. I had a detailed conversation. He is a bundle of innovative ideas. You know, he asked me, Tirukural, 2 lines, 4 words, 3 words. Why did they put 4 words in the first line? Why not we put all the 7 words in 1 line? He said, Tirukural, Adhigaram, the 10 Kurals, you put 10 words in a line, you read the first words, it forms a new Tirukural, it seems. He is connecting that with cyber security steganography. This man is with lot of problems and ideas in his mind. You can make use of him to train the students who have creativity and innovation and where you want to teach design thinking. So identify the interest of the student and kindle their interest. And in the same I4E website, you have a chapter on Curriculum 4.0. This is inside the 5th book, but we have made it available public. Curriculum 4.0, there is a Word document and PDF document within the tabulation in the 2nd row that you go through that, all the digital tools that can be used within the classroom are available. The names and information on that is available. And at the end of the chapter, I have given the phone number and the email address of the experts in data analytics, artificial intelligence from Bharatiya University. If you want, you can make use of them. You know, ChatGPT. We have heard about it. I sat on that and I asked for mechanical engineering, methodology in mechanical engineering, advancement in mechanical. It said intelligent machines, and then I put intelligent machine, methodology on intelligent machines, and then AI methods, supervised learning. Beautiful, 20 pages of assignment on whatever we ask. So a learned professor who does a literature review, analyzes and gives the best no, like that it has come. So a student will use that and write the assignment. Now there are tools coming up to identify whether this assignment is done by ChatGPT or not. You know, it is a terror for the teachers. You know, how to identify the best student who has applied his mind and who has copied from ChatGPT. So there are disruptive transformations that are happening. Okay, in the same website there is a article on disruptive technologies for higher education. Most of the things will be applicable for school education also. Disruptive technologies, disruptive reforms in higher education, Bharatiya University as a model, written by Professor P. Kaliraj, which talks about a lot of digital technology and tools. So we had a meeting with Mr. Sudan, who works for WHO, World Health Organization. You know, he said, we should identify the important areas and we should apply data analytics and the future of that subject. See, social science, okay, we should predict what will happen for social science in the next 20 years by applying data analytics. And we should handhold with any international level university or school that teaches that subject. We should handhold with them and then take things forward so that we make the students ready for the gig economy. Okay, so there are steps that are given, what we should do to face the world in the next 10 years in schools and higher education. Skill development, NASSCOM plays a very important role. National Association of Software Services Companies. Get in touch with NASSCOM, ask them to train your teachers. They train the teachers for free on the latest skills. I'll just finish it in 1 or 2 minutes. So in 2047, India would be a world leader. And India will be at the forefront of industrial. Internet of Things, in 2026, the market value will be US dollar 1,102 billion. We should handhold the students with creativity and lot of new ideas. Help the student for developing the proof of concept or making the prototype in paper or model. Help the student to take the prototype to promote to incubation centers. Establish business model with seed grant. Facilitate the students to become entrepreneurs. You know, Kumaraguru College of Technology is a very good example where, as a mother, when I went for the parents' meeting, they said, don't look at the children's grade sheet. If they fail in subject, come in the 4th year. Suppose if a student fails, okay, but he may have a creative idea, he will be allowed to work in their iCube center where he will be developing a product. The time that he has spent there and the development that he makes there will be compensated for this failed subject. So they decided in the 7th semester, their students are very creative. He will be bored with the lectures and this rote learning and filling the papers and getting the marks. So they have changed their system in engineering evaluation to match with the creative. India needs more thinkers. And the personality that the students develop by attending various workshops and competitions really help them. So develop the students in a all-round way. Okay, and I wish the leaders here from schools will develop the students so that one of the students of your school who will become an alumni of your school will become Nobel laureate in 2047. Thank you for the golden opportunity.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Humanitarian approach to learning and a human touch connect with human psyche are the need of the hour. Ma'am, you have rightly emphasized the autonomy of learners' interest and the pursuit of it. Thank you so much, ma'am. Educationally molded, intellectually wedded, spiritually intact, and emotionally vibrant is our guest, Dr. K.R. Maladi, the founder and CEO of RO Educational Services, Chennai. She has set up 36 international and CBSE schools. She has involved herself in instituting school for children with special needs. Ma'am, we are greatly honored and pleased by your presence today with us. I now invite your good self to deliver the special address. Please, ma'am.
Good afternoon, everybody. Can we give a big round of applause? This is for whom? This is for you, because you have been really patiently listening, and I have been watching you sitting from there, how patiently you are listening to, and I think that's the way we were all trained, isn't it? So there is a Paramori in Tamil. I am sure that all of you understand Tamil. Yes? செவிக்கு உணவில்லாத பொழுது சிறிது வயிற்றுக்கும் ஈயப்படும். ஸோ நான் நிறைய செவிக்கு விழுந்துக்கிட்டே இருக்கு. ஸோ வயிற்றுக்கு ஈயத்துக்கு முன்னாடி just 10 minutes. I'm not going to take much of your time because the speakers before me, different educated personalities have actually covered most of it, isn't it? They have covered everything about the current standards and then what is expected. So I'm just going to touch upon. I come from the school background. I work with schools. I have absolutely no connect with colleges than being, studying there in the colleges or getting into, different degrees. I love studying, so I keep entering to colleges, at least spend 2 years, 1 year, to enjoy the the college life, and then to keep myself youth, nanu youth, so to keep that vibrancy, I keep entering it. So apart from that, absolutely no connect with the colleges. So I'm here to talk about, we were talking about the topic for today was supposed to be transformative pathways for liberal education. I'm sure that all of us are aware what liberal education is all about. Isn't it? Yes, all of us are aware? Okay, so where does this word originate from, liberal? The word liberal, which word, from which language has it come from? It is originated from the Greek word. Not much of your time, I told you 10 minutes. So, and it really does not mean that, it is not the opposite of conservative. When we say that liberal is not opposite of conservative. Liberal is freedom. So what does liberal education mean? Are we going to give freedom to children whether to come to college or not, whether to study or not? Definitely not. They're moving towards a path-breaking trajectory. We are all moving towards a very different direction when it comes to education per se, whether it is school education or college education. Standing in a university, I shouldn't be saying this, but I am saying this, you all be prepared. We have more openings in school in the coming at least next 10-15 years, because to what I see is colleges will become obsolete in the coming years. Madam, you have to correct me if I'm wrong, because they might become maybe a finishing school kind of a thing, because most of it, what is needed for the employment, say for example, both of them were quoting about Zoho. Zoho started employing people who are just out of the school. Similarly, you don't need. Reason is, do colleges add value to the degree which the child is studying? So what is needed to be successful in the future is skill sets. Now we are all talking about science and humanities, and we are talking about liberal education. Can science and humanities in isolation, can they thrive in isolation? Is it possible to thrive in isolation? Definitely not. They need to be integrated together. So what does liberal education talks about in terms of NEP? So section 11 in NEP talks about liberal education as a holistic approach where science and humanities do not thrive in isolation, where the subjects are interdisciplinary and have an integrated approach, which is already followed in school education, where we follow. To give you a simple case study, in order to study about the fog, okay, the density of air quality in Delhi, what subjects are needed? What subjects are needed to study about the air quality index? What do you think? Environment, yes, then? Statistics? Physics? I think you all were silent for enough. It's time for you to interact. Analytical skills, exactly. So a combination of all subjects, even you need to know about the social science for you to understand the background, and the data science, of course, analytical science. It is very important for you to have a understanding of different subjects and to arrive at a complete solution for a problem. Now, liberal education is all about arriving at problems. I might have a brilliant product. I might have something else. But if I do not know how to apply this or where to use this, then there is no point in developing a product, isn't it? So, we are all talking about the so-called 21st century skills which we were using. We were talking about analytical skills, reasoning skills, problem-solving ability, critical thinking. I think these all comes under the liberal education. I think this is what is important. Can it be standalone? Can we actually take away science and humanities and science and technology or the STEM education alone? Ma'am was mentioning about STEM became STEAM. Now STEAM has become STREAM also. With with technology, robotics is also playing a major role. Now STEM became STEAM, and then STEAM has become STREAM now, with that coming in. Now, can we take it away? Definitely not. To study, initially I think it was about when the sea link was constructed between Bandra, west in Mumbai. There was a study, there was a beautiful, this little girl by name Rex, I think, who is at the University of Brown, where she was talking about, I am definitely in an orphan, I do not find my solace in the Indian education system because Indian education system did not allow me to study. And then she goes on explaining about what her situation was, as like many other families where children were forced. I think Professor Devi beautifully explained about her son's own experience about we are forcing children to take either NEET or JEE to become successful in life, and this child was also forced to study something where her interest was absolutely not in science or mathematics, but she wanted to do something in the humanities. And when she went on to humanities, she realized that the basic science also helped her. So what is needed in our schools is integration of subject, interdisciplinary approach in our colleges. It is not going to be any more that it is a maths teacher or a science teacher or a geography teacher or a data analytic or a professor. It is going to be somebody who understands all subjects and then who is able to deliver, connect, and then make children to think, to create a thinking nation. So liberal education is all about creating a thinking nation, and I'm sure all of us over here are working towards it, creating a thinking nation. So wishing you all the very best. Let's ponder. I know we all have taken. It was such lovely listening to you, ma'am, because you touched upon many aspects. I wish that, we meet on another occasion to discuss about how things work at the school education. School education definitely working at a different level. It is not anymore that, what we have experienced as students in the school. I work with a lot of schools, and then we are creating a lot more awareness, as I told you, and with that confidence only, I did tell you that, another 15, 20 years, colleges may not be useful at all, because, we are trying to do everything at the school level, where children have the ability to understand and grasp most of the thing, and they are job ready at the school level. So if institutions, if higher education units need to survive, then you need to upskill. With this, thank you so much for the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your deliberation. Keeping it short and sweet is not that easy, but you have made it so. Thank you so much. And now is the time for the open deliberation. Audience, if you have any questions, you can post it on to all the three stalwarts. Or any discussion you want to make it up, you can go ahead. Please.
I think I'm at the wrong time. Sorry for that. So, without further delaying, let me start off my presentation here. So, my name is Vishakamuthi, and I'm coming from a company called Datalogics India Private Limited. And I head the Marketing Communications Department. And what we at Datalogics basically do is, we are technology service providers for educational system, and we have started way back in 1991. It's almost more than 3 decades. We are dedicatedly rendering our services to educational system. We have throughout the country especially. Why we are here especially is that we wanted to showcase new avenues in teaching and learning through technology. So before I start off this, I would like to thank Dr. T. Devi ma'am, who has given some thoughtful insights about why technology is important in education system. So you might also been wondering how all of this possible. My presentation basically covers all of those things. So let's go ahead and then start off our presentation without further delaying. So in new avenues in teaching and learning, we have got 4 important segments. The first segment is learning outside the classroom. So technology right now, after the COVID, education has become so very easy. Wherever they are, at their own pace and convenient time, it is possible for you to educate as number of people you want using technological devices. And nowadays, challenge of internet connection is no longer being tougher situations. If you go to any rural areas, you have abundance of internet facility available. And having said that, with the help of mobile devices, learning outside classroom is being very possible. Students are not very contented within 4 walls itself. So the learning happening beyond classroom, whereby with the smart apps, especially on iPad over 250,000, you have various sort of access resources, which will helpful to make your learning interactive way. And what is more important thing is that here the learning do happening in a very interactive way that will help them to pay attention to each and every set of details involved in it, which is impossible for us to do it in a live conventional way of training. So in live conventional way of training, to pay attention to the details is actually a humongous time consuming process. But with technology, it's possible for you to reduce those and then simplify the way of learning methods. And the next avenue of teaching method basically is gamification, which Dr. T. Devi has spoken about it. And why gamification has become a recent trend in technology, which gets a lot of excitement from the student. Now there are a lot of subjects which are more complex. For example, let's take coding. Coding is very difficult to teach. The imagination power of early students is not as good as the people who've been matured enough. Now to make them understand the coding at very early stages, gamification plays major vital role. Now everybody loves gaming, right? Gaming doesn't have any age restrictions. A normal child till post 60s, they spend more time in gaming as well. So through gaming, I'm just wanted to show some sort of an example to learn Swift coding here. So if you could probably see this particular example, what basically happens is that you have a gaming that's been happening on, and as soon as you take a screenshot of it and mark up to give a challenge of following steps what they need to execute, so you'll just mark up and send it among the students, and students start working on coding in order to execute the same, and those coding happens simultaneously so that it's all got executed the way that you have given the assignment to them for. So this way the concept of learning becomes more interactive, more easier, more interesting, and everybody gets hands-on to the subject very easily. And it's easier for it's easier to reach out the maximum number of students possible with having smart tools in place. And moving on, collaborative learning. So this is why collaborative is more important. See, the concept of collaboration only comes when you get into profession, but that has to come right at the education itself. So when it is deep-rooted in the education itself, they will not face challenges in the profession. So the earlier teaching capacities, practices are mostly involved in one-directional communication. What we come to the college or school, we give all the notes in the board, and that continuous 30 minutes of teaching is being done. Whatever notes that has been, points that has been formulated on the board, people used to enter the same in. But here what basically happens is teachers do have an opportunity to give group assignments, group tasks, and then whatever group assignments tasks that's been given can be evaluated directly then and there, so that they'll get to know about how things are happening, and everybody involvements do be there in the projects. So this helps to get something called teamwork, and they'll get introduced teamwork at early stages itself, and that is so very important. Of course, thanks to pandemic, because pandemic is something which is involved this collaborative platform, whereby there are not few things already known to you, such as Google Classroom, and you've been already used something called Zoom as well. And we have also got on Apple platform we have Mac Office, which will let you do work on collaborative learning aspects as well. So these are all the three different stages. In the last stages, immersive learning with AR and VR. So why AR and VR? So AR and VR would basically helps you to communicate subjects which are more complicated. For example, if you wanted to talk about human body parts such as heart, and you wanted to say how it functions, it's impossible for you to show it as a static content. As and when it's dynamic, it's very easier for people to understand how this functions, and that's how it's easier for them to understand the in and out of any specific topic that is basically given. So iPad has some sort of a smart applications which will basically help you to study the real-time objects which is closer to you. So normally, if any students are basically there and they have doing basic maths, if you get into this room and if you wanted to understand the room calculations, you get some sort of a predictions using these tool which helps you to get into AR, and then it's possible for you to understand the shapes and get the measurements of it, and you can match it with the predictions. So this way it's possible for you to refine your prediction skills by using our integrated AR apps itself. And moving on, we also have the other more apps for making mathematics more easier. One of such example is GeoGebra. So if you could probably see, again, teaching algebraic equations is quite tough for students, and how it basically works, how shape basically transforms, is something people do keep on visualizing it. So here, with the help of these smart applications, it's easier for them to understand how shapes do formulate when the equations are on, and it's easier for you to as soon as you enter equations, you basically get the shapes, and you could use to a real time, you can map it on the real time object to see it. So that's where you could connect the theoretical applications to real time, which is basically missing in the conventional training methods. So having these sort of training methods involved in your teaching would create a greater impact among students, and students also will feel more interesting in learning the same. And this will also help you to, one way is giving equations, generating an expression out. What if there is an existing sort of an expression? It's possible for you to capture using the existing cameras, and that brings insight, and it's possible for you to share what work you have done among your teammates for assessments and evaluations. Okay, so next, moving on, you also have an option for you to create your own set of an objects that's been there right within the axis. It's possible for you to create different form of geometries, and after creating different form of geometries, it's possible for you to even generate the mathematical equations for the same. And getting on to other important thing called, which again, Dr. T. Devi ma'am referred to something called inculcating design thinking. So inculcating any creative form to a student again is a challenging thing. So creative thing doesn't have any script basically. So if you wanted to inculcate those, there are some more interactive apps. All of these are basically available for free. So using right app is something that helps your complete teaching process more transformative. So in this example, what I would like to show is to inculcate design thinking. You have a standard augmented reality format here, whereby it's possible for you to get any sort of a shapes in the living space, and then you could compose those living space the way you want, and then create. It's damn easy. So right now we're taking a living animal and then pinching in and out to fit to any specific shape, and once the shape is basically locked, then we will start rotating the way that we wanted. And then if you wanted to keep it the way that you aspire is always being possible, to create different creatives from the standard scene. So that's how you could inculcate design thinking. So this summarizes the end basically, where we have introduced 4 important new avenues in teaching and learning, that is learning outside classroom, collaborative learning, gamification, and immersive learning with AR/AR. So all of these is possible with technologies what we represent. So you don't need to basically think of how we could incorporate it, because the most important thing that the most important question that it comes after you seeing this is how a school can introduce all of these teaching avenues, right? So we at Datalogics India Private Limited, we are a dedicated educational service provider, and we take care of it. The only thing that school can do is only spend time in teaching and learning. Rest everything we take care of. Okay, ranging from implementation to aftercare, we come into a picture, and then we take care of all sort of things for which is required for your educational system. So what is more important in having all of these 3 things is 3 major factors that drives introducing this new learning avenues is learning and teaching, and you need to have a proper environment to set it across. So once these 3 things are properly established, that will drive to from mission to measure, which is quite common for any sort of a learning pattern that you introduce to an education system. So we at Datalogics helps to ensure that we map all of these stages right from the conceptual state to bringing it to reality, and make sure this is done at a real practicing time. Now, where does this basically leads to us? Apple as a sort of a platform is world technology leader, that everybody knows it, and it is primarily meant for education system. So there is Apple also accreditates the educational institute as Apple Distinguished School, provided if you become paperless educational institutions. And I have surprise at the end for you all. So in order to become Apple Distinguished School, the teachers and students who are actually there in the educational institution should use technological devices for learning and teaching. So that's the main criteria, which will establish one-to-one program and innovative use of those technologies, and then staff proficiency over iMac and Apple products, whatever they use. And then with this documented results, you will be accredited with Apple Distinguished School. So in India, you never knew that there is one school from Burhanpur, and I'm just showing you that as a case study, which has been standing across in the global platform. So in the global platform, people from different developed countries are looking up to that school in order to implement the same for their institution. So a short glimpse of it, and that's become the end of a session.
कहाँ से आते हैं इस बात का कोई लेना देना नहीं है कि आप जीवन में कहाँ तक पहुँचेंगे, चाहे आप बुरहानपुर जैसी किसी छोटी जगह से ही क्यों ना हो।
So this school is basically in Burhanpur, which is part of Madhya Pradesh, at 6 kilometers, 6 hours drive from Indore, which is capital of MP.
अपनी फील्ड में बेस्ट हो सकता है।
And the institution name is Macro Vision Academy.
में जाने के लिए मैक्रो विजन एकेडमी विद्यार्थियों को टॉप क्लास सुविधाएं उपलब्ध कराता है। अच्छा करने के लिए बेहतरीन साथ हो और एप्पल आईपैड से बेस्ट कुछ हो नहीं सकता।
And during the year 2018, they have introduced all the Apple iPad devices for teachers and students. And the same challenge, whatever you have, the same, the principal of that institution also had.
But right from the day one, we could experience the ease of iPad ecosystem. Setting up, maintaining 2,500 iPads did not incur much cost or effort. बिना किसी ट्रेनिंग के 15 दिन में I was hands on with the iPad.
पहले हम लोगों का इससे डिस्ट्रैक्शन हो गया, पर एक्चुअली अब हर क्लासेस में ये हमारा असिस्टेंट बन गया है। नियरपॉड और एप्पल टीवी के द्वारा बच्चों को स्टडी मटेरियल प्रोवाइड करना और समझाना काफ़ी आसान हो गया है।
The most important thing that preacher tries to say here is that is more than spending much time in evaluating and assessmenting students, you can spend more time in creating content for them. So with this technology, it's possible for you to contribute more on teaching rather than assessing and examining them.
The apps on iPad, it makes the tough subjects easy to understand, like Nova Elements. It simplifies even the complicated topics in chemistry.
Every Sunday, aptitude tests are conducted in Macrovision Academy from class 9 onwards, for which we use various iPad apps. These electronic tests are submitted and analyzed immediately. Now we spend more time on creating the content rather than checking the papers.
From the beginning, we knew that the iPad will come with the immense strength and the possibilities of the internet. लेकिन यही तो parents की apprehension भी थी. The iPad gave us the assurance in a great way that we can create, customize, and update our firewall settings. We can now leave the world of information open to our kids with no worry.
There are also apps that let us pursue our interests, like Sketch, iMovie, GarageBand, etc. And most importantly, the best thing is we don't have to go to a music class now. We can play an instrument wherever we want to.
पिछले एक साल में एप्पल आईपैड यूज करने के बाद स्कूल का एवरेज 7.5 से 8.5 हो गया। मुझे विश्वास है कि बुरहानपुर के विद्यार्थी जिंदगी में सफलता के नए कीर्तिमान स्थापित करेंगे और उसकी नींव हम डाल रहे हैं।
So that's about it. As we said, introducing technology in education would ease a lot of things, and there might be one strong question that runs in your back mind saying a small resistivity on how do we adapt it. We as an educational solution providers are here to take care of it. So with the help of us, it's possible for you to introduce the new teaching avenues that we mentioned, like learning outside the classroom, gamification, collaboration, and as well as immersive learning with AR and VR capabilities. So, any questions? And the most important thing is, of course, the other question that runs in your mind is how secure these devices would ensure students to keep them on track. So we use certain tools such as like JAMF, which basically ensures that whatever we tend to push to our students would all be educational related stuffs, and beyond that it's not possible for them to even surf any sort of a things. And you have a parental control of all the devices that the college or school owns in terms of managing how the devices should behave. and with that, it's not possible for them to go beyond any educational usage purposes. So it's called mobile device management. So any questions? And I hope you wanted to have some sort of a hands-on experience. We have, put up a stall here, and with a small experience center, you can go. You can feel free to walk in, and we can explain you in a practical way with the devices, whatever that's been there, right in, and then we can take it ahead. So any questions? And again, I would like to extend my thanks and gratitude to the SRM group of institutions, the Dean of Humanity and Sciences, Mr. Venkataraman, and his team, for having us on here. Thank you so much. And we are here during your lunch for networking. Anything you want, you feel free to come. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. The delegates from Datalogics, we extend our thanks to you for having coming here and deliberating about your company. So now we move on to the certificate distribution. I now request our Dean, sir, Dr. Devi ma'am, and our Vice Principal Academic and Admin, sir, to come over the dais to distribute the certificates. And our thanks to all the dignitaries who have come from various schools to be a part of this Secpricon 2023 convention, and you have made it a day for us, and hope you would have had enough to take home from the deliberations that we had from the stalwarts. So now is the time for certificate distribution. I invite Dr. T. Devi ma'am, the guest of the day, and Dean sir with vice principals to distribute the certificates to the participants. Thiru Muniyappan from Chennai Boys School, Nogabakam, Chennai. Thiru Kalai Chaliyan, Chennai Higher Secondary School, Chennai Nagar. Srimati Shanti MS, Chennamaya School, Viringabakam. Thiru A. Kumar, Government Madrasa School, Mount Road. Thiru Solomon, Gurukul School, Kodambakam. Thiru Karthikeyan, Gurukul School, Kodambakam. Thiru P. Murugayan, General Kariyappa, Saligramam, Chennai. Ms. Sweta and CXia from GGM Matriculation Higher Secondary School. Thiru A. Thangaraj, Government Higher Secondary School, Thiruporur. Followed by Srimati Shanbagam, Usaini High School, Ramapuram. Dr. Ardhanari, Kola Saraswati, DAV Vaishnava, Arumbakam. Thiru Maniyan, Lamak School, Valasaravakam, Chennai. Srimati Lakshmi, Maharishi School, Sriperumbudur. Thiru Sundar Rajan, MB Jain School, T Nagar, Chennai. Thiru N. Raja Mohammed, National Car Higher Secondary School. Thiru Jayakumar CR, PUMS, Attipattu, Minjur Block. Thiru Amarnath L, Ramakrishna Mission Higher Secondary School. Sri J.M. Subramanian, Shakespeare Matriculation School, Vadapalani. Srimati Selvi N, SRM Nightingale Metric Higher Secondary School. Srimati Lakshmi, Srimati Krishnaveni, Srimati Sandhya Rani from Sri Krishnasamy Matriculation Higher Secondary School. Srimati Maladi Kannan, Sri JNS Jain Matriculation Higher Secondary School. Srimati S. Gayatri, Sita Raman Vidyalaya, West Mambalam. Srimati Rafina, Satyalok Matriculation Higher Secondary School. Sri K. Dasarath Rajan, Velamal Vidyalaya, Ayanambakam, Chennai. Thank you so much, sir. I now request our Dean, sir, to present a memento to Abhay Prahaladan, the MD of Datalogics, Chennai. Thank you so much, sir. Shakespeare said there is no other word other than thanks, thanks and thanks. I now invite our Vice Principal Academic, Dr. E.S. Saravanan, to propose a vote of thanks. Please, sir.
Very good afternoon to all of you. So all the three guests have given a very clear indication about where we are and where we are moving forward and what's the present situation. So that one thing that made us to think in this direction is, of course, the technologies, disruptive technologies that our respected ma'am was talking about. The one technology that what we have in our hand, of course, the smartphone technology. So whether we like it or not, right? So you need to have the mobile phones. And what about the impact of these mobile phones in the education of the students, or in particularly with the present first year students? So we are facing some challenges and some issues, and the learning pattern itself is getting changed in some way or other. And as all of you know that, so if you have the smartphone, on an average, right, on an average I'm talking about, we are touching the smartphone for 2,617 times per day. This is an average. It may vary, right? So even if you don't get a smartphone, yes, I have a phone with me. I'll just come and check and just okay, right, whether I received a call or not. If I receive a call, I'm sure that I'm going to get a beep sound. But even if I don't get a phone call, I just switch on and switch off. I just make some touches, and that is way. And there we are, and we do not know where it will end. And this is what which really made us to think in this direction. And another side, if you go home, and what we do, and our children also practices. If I ask my son to stop using the mobile phones, he say, "Why you are using?" Right. So that made me to think in a lot of directions. That is what the direction I have given my faculty also. That after the class hours or working hours are say 4 o'clock or 4:30. So that time is for my family. I don't want to attend any of your calls or messages after the working time, because that is what the family expects. And I have to balance and the expectations of the present generation. Even if I give my the son the mobile phone, he uses say some night 7 o'clock or 7:30 or something, right? Or when he watches the television, right? So when an advertisement pops in, he immediately gets disturbed and he moves and he wants to do some other thing. So one thing that what is lagging in the present generation students is the focus, right? Yes, I want him to be much happy, all right? And he said you want to watch YouTube shorts, okay, fine, you watch it, or YouTube videos. Yes, he's ready to go into that. But in between, if you get any advertisement in YouTube, right? Suddenly he is he's closing the YouTube and he is jumping to the games. So that is where the present generation students are. Then it is really the the concern. And as the parents, as the teachers, as the administrators, we have to think in this direction and really think. And as yesterday in the international conference, our chief guest was talking about, the sacrifice that the parents has to do. What is the sacrifice that, that we are doing for the children is, right? So just keep away from the technologies, or the time that I'm spending with a mobile phone, maybe 4 hours or 5 hours I'm spending with my mobile phone is the time that is so precious And when I go home, I just spend 5 minutes or 6 minutes to my son or daughter. You just see this ratio, right? We are talking with the missions, and we are not talking with the human beings, with our loved ones who are staying in our home, and we just make a phone call to our father and mother who is, just staying in the next room. So that is really the need, and we have to really think about and see as educators and as the computer scientists how we are going to take this into the next level. So in this juncture, I would like to thank our management, our chairman sir and our co-chairman sir for accepting our request and and for having given the permission of organizing this event, Secpricon 2023. And in this time, I would like to really thank the Chief Director and Director sir also for their constant support in organizing this function. And all the three guests, I would like to thank Dr. Ladapillai ma'am, Dr. Maladi ma'am, and also Dr. Devi ma'am for the excellent input that what they have given, right? So let us take all the inputs in a positive way and see that we make changes in the present generation students. Thank you once again, ma'am, on behalf of the College of Science and Humanities and SRM Group of Institutions. We like to really thank you, ma'am. And I would like to really thank our Dean, sir, for all his inputs and for all his efforts, starting from the day we started the program. Thank you once again, sir. And I would like to place my appreciation to our Vice Principal Admin, Dr. Dileepan, sir, for organizing or coordinating all the activities and keeping in touch with all the things. Thank you, sir. And I would like to thank the coordinators of this event, Ms. Sweta ma'am and Dr. Ambuli ma'am, for spending their time, and all the registration committee members and all the other committee members' sponsorship or transportation or chief guest hospitality or VIP hospitality or food or whatever it is, and the excellent MC given by Dr. Emmanuel. I'd like to really thank all of you, and I'm also much thankful to Mrs. Data Logics team for joining with us as a sponsor, and I'm sure that the technologies that we are talking about, and that is what they have shown in the presentation. So thank you once again for joining with us, and again thank you once again, and I would like to thank all the principals and secretaries, correspondents, and all the representatives from various schools for participating in the Secpricon 2023. I wish that we could join maybe in the near future for Secpricon 2024. We will be in touch, and we will contact you for any further updates from our institution. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. It was indeed heart-soothing when you said, okay, we don't disturb you after 4 o'clock, it's a family time. So hope it is kept and maintained. I'm so happy about that. And also I extend my heartfelt thanks to all the heads of the department who coordinated with me for various things, and also all the faculty members who traveled with us for the past one to 1.5 weeks to make this event a grand success.
The faculty members, heads of the department, and the organizers, because I was out of station for 3 days. The last 3 days I was not in the station, but in spite of that, we were able to organize this, and it is because of them. Hats off to you all, and I wish you all the very best. Thank you.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उत्कल जलति तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे दव शुभ आशीष मागे जागे तव जय दाता जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे